Well. Looks like my team wins again. Well, sometimes it's nice to revert back to a child and play a video game with a couple people, eh?
This would have been a lot more fun if it wasn't just Greg and Thalia versus Melanie and brain-dead CPU.
It's just a friendship between a man and a woman, Melanie. As my fiancé, you're quite dense, I gotta say.
Trouble Busters!
My name is Melanie, and you've caught me trying to convince my fiancé to fix his bad habits of prioritizing his girlfriends over me. I mean, from the beginning, we can't forget that you were originally only invited to hang out with Greg and I.
That's right. We did you the favor of letting you tag along.
The fact that you two have agreed to spend time together is ridiculous. Shut up, you. If you worry about every tiny little thing like this, you won't be able to survive for much longer, you know? Are you sure about that? If my fiancé doesn't hang out alone with anyone of the opposite sex other than myself, I'm sure I'll be fine.
What cursed shackles you have!
Is it so difficult for you not to play alone with a woman? For example, if you have a third wheel of sorts, a third party, including me, who can intervene while you two hang out, it becomes a group where mistakes and misunderstandings do not happen so much. While the probability of making a mistake cannot be reduced to exactly 0 as long as it's a man and a woman alone together, it is possible to make it as close to 0 as possible. The only way to do that I can think of is to be a group of more than 3.
Oh, you and your stupid probability theory can shut the frick up. In conclusion, you don't trust me.
My discomfort is your situation precedes the fact that I indeed don't trust you. Why can't you understand that? Looks like you're so desperate, and it's so funny. In the end, though, isn't it your own fault for not having enough confidence in yourself? How dare you? Your makeup is very mediocre, and your clothes are tacky at best. You haven't made any effort to hold on to Greg at all, and I'm here to tell you not to blame him while you yourself are lacking effort. That's not what I'm talking about. No matter how confident I am in myself, I don't want the gentleman I love and want to marry to hang out with other women alone.
Oh my frickin', you're a pain in the ass!
It's because I love you, Greg. If I were indifferent to you as a fiancé, I wouldn't be saying this.
Don't push me, Melanie. I'll definitely defend the last line of defense, so to speak, and you can trust me, I promise.
In the end, the conversation remained inconclusive, and time passed by quickly. Why couldn't Greg understand how I felt about all this? After that, Greg went on to prioritize his promises to hang out with Thalia at every opportunity. He completely ignored our actual anniversary date, instead went to the movies with her, and only reported to me after he came home. Not just our anniversary, though, he canceled our dates brutally often, usually on the same day. He also puts on cologne that I don't like, but he seems to have forgotten about that little fact. Probably because Thalia makes that cologne her favorite. Additionally, even though he seems to be openly fiddling with his phone in front of me at first glance, he changes his position so that I can't see what he's doing on his screen. He himself may be thinking he's acting naturally, but there is no doubt in my mind that there is something he doesn't want me to see, or something like that would definitely bother me. I guess all that's left to do is set a trap. And by trap, I don't mean anything like stalking, spying, or bugging places with microphones. It's highly evidentary, but at the same time, it's also highly lethal in terms of our relationship. In the event that I hear voices or see videos of them doing something unspeakable, I might have a mental breakdown.
Oh, fall for lunch today?
Yep, it's lunchtime, and it's probably pretty good for a hot day like today.
A nice idea.
And also, Greg, I'll be away on business this weekend.
Oh, is that so? I'll miss you.
Oh, stop. It's only for one night.
Oh, don't worry. I understand. Then I'll be a good boy and stay at home, okay?
I'm counting on you.
What are you doing, Melanie?
The car was a little messy, so I was cleaning it up.
It's almost time to go for you, isn't it?
Yep, I'm going now. Oh, could you do me one small favor and take out the trash, please?
Okay, honey.
Hello, Greg? Did you get home yet?
Yeah, I'm home now.
I see. Listen, a friend of mine told me something that's been bothering me all afternoon.
What's been bothering you?
Greg, around noon yesterday, were you driving with a woman in the car?
No, I did use the car to go on a drive, but I was alone.
Is that so? So you're saying my friend was just imagining things?
I mean, obviously, if that should ever happen, I definitely would have reported it. It's been this way since the beginning, haven't I?
You're right. I'm sorry for asking about such a strange thing.
I'll tell myself you asked because you love me, alright? Don't worry about that. Just come home quick.
No, I can't just yet. You head on to bed without me tonight, Greg. I think I'll be home by the end of the day, but I still have some important things to do. The outcome is pitch dark, guilty, black. I will make you pay whatever the price is for stepping on the feelings of a maiden, my dear beloved Gregory. After that, I quickly took appropriate action to exact my imminent vengeance upon the guilty.
Hey, Gregory, why isn't Miss Melanie coming?
For real, a wedding without a bride is unheard of, isn't it? Hey, why isn't everyone else here either? Tell me why, Greg.
No use asking me, Thalia. I've no damn idea.
No way. Don't tell me. No way. Our relationship couldn't have been exposed by any chance, right?
No way. Hello?
Mr. Gregory Smith, today's wedding is canceled.
What? Cancelled?
Yes, canceled. The news has already been notified to all parties concerned, and I believe you know exactly why it's been canceled. You do know, don't you?
Of course not. What the hell is this? Why the frick are you doing this?
Only because you had a legitimate affair with one Miss Thalia Williams?
Talking about this again? How many times do I have to tell you? Thalia is just a friend. Our relationship is nothing like... What's wrong, Thalia?
This photograph.
Ah!
Get your ass over to Dustin Spider Law Firm now. Unforgivable. Troublebusters initiate.
I'm so sorry. The devil's gotten to me.
Saying that the devil got you is far from enough as retribution to this situation. Just look at the overwhelming amount of evidence.
That's why I'm telling you that it was totally my fault.
So am I. This is, a limited time love affair. When you were going to marry Greg, I was going to gradually step aside and leave him to his happiness. It's the truth, honest. I don't give a damn shit about the future. What's important now is not that you would stop cheating now and that everything was going to be okay, but the very fact that you are cheating now. That is what this is about. I only want but one thing, and that is to thoroughly bury the two harpies dressed in soft, wrinkly human skin in front of me into the fiery pit of Tartarus. I bought a house and a car for you, Greg. I was also fully on board with him becoming a house husband after we were married. This was all because I wanted to see his happy face for a long time. But the truth is that reality is often cruel. I repeatedly told him to stop seeing this woman alone, and that's because a genuine friendship between a man and a woman does not exist very often. I did not condemn them hanging out, nor did I want to forbid it. I explicitly said that as long as there was a third person, or hell, even more people present, I would be all right with it. I mean, duh. If y'all think that a man and a woman hanging out together as friends is a natural thing, I think you are batshit stark raving mad. Seconded, mistress. If I found out that Thomas was doing such a thing, I wouldn't allow it either. In any case, if you really were just friends in the first place, there wouldn't have been any need for you to hang out alone, the two of you. For real, everything Melanie speaks is true. If you two absolutely must meet alone, well then, you're very much aware of each other as a member of the opposite sex, as a potential lover. It's a state of mind that is initially equipped with intrusive thoughts. You think so, right? You really think so? I think so too, and this is the reality.
All right, please, stop. I'll reflect on it. I apologize. Please, stop.
It's too late for understanding and repenting. The more I loved you once upon a time, the deeper my resentment is as of now. Both of you, Gregory Smith, Thalia Williams, will be getting a one-way ride to hell as of today. Hey, Gregory, what is the meaning of all this?
No, Mom. It's not what you...
Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, I am so terribly sorry for today. You have both treated me very kindly, but doing the unspeakable in hotel rooms, in my own house, even in the car at times, I'm afraid I must declare it impossible to repair the damage after being betrayed to this extent. There is no conceivable way I can ever go to the wedding venue.
No, dear. This is not something for you to apologize for.
No, dear, it really isn't. It's all Greg's fault.
Why would you betray such a good woman, son? I'm telling you, having it both ways is something that a humble man dreams of, and such a dream can only be done before marriage. So you went and committed adultery! Disgusting swine, you! No, this isn't adultery. If you do it after marriage, it's adultery. But if it's before marriage, it's something else. It's not as bad. It's not as bad.
It's as bad as beyond, bucko. Even if you do it before marriage, it's still adultery if it's done on a fiancé.
It is. Why?
Come on, physical relations with another during an engagement to marry? That's eligible for demanding alimony, bro. The fact that you don't even know that, you two-timing dick-sucking pile of shit. Even if I didn't blindly suspect Gregory Smith of cheating on me and hire a detective.
Wait, you hired a detective?
Yes, things got so suspicious that I couldn't help it, so I set a trap for you.
A trap?
Yes, I put uncooked pho noodles under the cushion in the passenger seat of the car. When I opened it after a few days, I could tell with one look that someone has been sitting in the passenger seat, because the noodles were all snapped in half.
You dastardly witch!
I don't believe you're in a position to insult me, buddy.
That kind of gloomy personality you got going on is exactly why you got cheated on.
It's not a matter of whether it's okay to just cheat on your fiancé because of her gloomy personality. Children of the devil can be born by angels. Don't frickin' justify your adultery, you bitch! If such horseshit logic runs wild in your oatmeal brain, how about I punch some sense into that stupid face of yours, eh?
No, please.
And why the frick not? Your logic is negative IQ, bitch. Damn, whenever Thea joins in any argument, the atmosphere of the room becomes as explosive as fireworks during the Super Bowl.
Oh, but that doesn't justify you acting like such a conspiracy theorist.
Why did I have to go this far? Gee, I don't know. Maybe because you were doing something straight up scandalous. And not only that, in order to make a scumbag with the morality of an anti-Semitic redneck in a bar mitzvah who encourages cheating repent their devious deeds, this is the least one ought to frickin' do. I was very hurt, and I still am, and I also have a lot to lose. I even have a lot to clean up after what you've done in the past. I really didn't want to investigate, but you left me with no other choice. The original reason I asked for an investigation here was not to get evidence of you cheating and find you guilty.
Good bonjour, madame. My name is Dustin Spider, and I'm the president of this firm. Your business here of an affair investigation, I presume?
No, well, actually, yes. But rather for peace of mind, you see?
Ah, yes, of course.
I would buy a peace of mind from you, if that was possible.
I'm sorry, madame, but any basic costs can make anyone become like one of those super surprise cartoon characters.
I'm aware, sir. Perhaps the trap in the passenger seat was a failure from the beginning, and the noodles by some mistake. The faux noodles under the passenger seat cushion may have been broken by some accident. It's not impossible, is it?
I apologize for calling you on such short notice, Miss Thompson.
The period of investigation was 1 month, wasn't it? Was anything amiss?
There was nothing amiss, ma'am. It's just that the evidence that normally would have taken a whole month to collect was successfully gathered in just 1 week. The results are ugly, to say the least. Your costs will be for the week only, Miss Thompson.
Oh, you betrayed me so much. I loved you. I loved you so much and I trusted you. That day, I cried. I really, really cried. I couldn't breathe.
I'm really sorry, Melanie. Melanie, I'm so sorry. I was gonna put an end to everything the moment we were married. This is the...
Too late. Broken trust can never be restored. A betrayal in the past will never be forgotten. No matter how much you bow to me in apology, I will never forgive you. As compensation for breaking off the engagement, I will charge you $30,000, Mr. Gregory Smith. $20,000 from you, Miss Thalia Williams.
30,000?
20? Obviously, breaking someone's heart and leaving yourselves unscathed is just too good to be true.
Calm down, Melanie. Let's not be hasty. This is a mistake of the youthful. I am a man. I will have an affair or two. Don't equate every man in the world with you. And just so you know, it's not just Melanie who's going to cut you off. What? We're cutting you off too. We won't allow you to come back home at all. And we will definitely not help you with paying off the alimony. What? You're abandoning your son just like that? You're not a kid anymore. You're a grown man. You're gonna take responsibility for yourself alone. What about you, Mom?
I can't cover for you, Greg.
But it's okay for your son to suffer from debt.
My daughter is suffering more. Oh. Marriage is a promise that both parties will never be unfaithful, ever. It's an engagement, for crying out loud. For real, if you can't do that, don't get married at all from the beginning.
Melanie, my dear, you have my permission to do whatever you please with this hunk of lard.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. Of course, I have big plans for them both. I have no intention of listening to any extenuating circumstances or ridiculous excuses.
I was a fool. I was stupid. I will change for the better, I swear. I will be a good husband. I beg you, Melanie, please don't break off the engagement.
There is no future with you. I want you to atone for your foolishness and stupidity. You two will not only pay me alimony, but you will also buy the car I bought you and the house as well. What? I mean, duh. You're the ones who did the dirty deeds without permission, so of course I'll demand that you buy them both.
Good idea. I also contributed to purchasing that house. You are the ones that made it uninhabitable, so of course you have to pay.
The total price of the house is $450,000.
$450,000?
I know you can't pay in one lump sum, so I'm going to ask you to pay back a fixed amount every month. Look at you, Casanova, popular with other adulterous women, and you have the home of your dreams. A house of sinners indeed. Shut up and accept your judgment.
Whoa, wait a second. There's no way we can pay such a large amount of money between us.
For real, this is just a huge ripoff, no matter how much it costs. The demand for alimony and reimbursement has a few rules for it to skyrocket. Whether the other side accepts it or not is one of these.
Rejection! Rejection, I say! And that's final!
Seconded. This is freaking crazy. It's not like I like that rotting shack. Think I give a shit about that? In the event that you reject my demands, I will do everything in my power to ruin you. If you can throw away the post of section manager of a big company at 35 years of age, by all means, go ahead.
My sore spot.
But there is one condition under which I am willing to negotiate a reduction of alimony.
Seriously? What is it?
An apology? Have you been listening? I thought I told you that the stage where an apology would suffice is long overdue, you stupid meathead. My condition is that you two get married.
What?
If Mr. Gregory Smith will marry Miss Thalia Williams now, I promise to reduce the amount of alimony. Afternoon, Mr. Spider.
Hello, ma'am. I'm sorry. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Dustin Spider, president of this law firm. My client, Miss Melanie Thompson, has informed me that if Mr. Gregory Smith and Miss Thalia Williams register their marriage as of today, all, I repeat, all of the alimony related to the destroying of the engagement may be reduced to zilch.
Zilch? Zilch? Now ain't that a grand offer?
But that's not how I am with Thalia.
Yes, that's right. It's impossible for me to accept such a simple man as my husband. And whose mouth and bottom window dare say that ape shit? A perfect match they are. Shame and disappointment. Perfect indeed. You ought to settle down as a set of filth with sewage. It would be better for the world.
Garbage goes in the trash bin together. I have prepared an agreement form and a marriage certificate right here. We don't have a stamp or anything. We have your fingerprints. Shouldn't pose any problem.
What would Mom and Dad say to this?
We have the Smiths present, Mr. Gregory's legal parents. The marriage certificate is a no-problem requiem with one set of parents' consent. So please, feel free to fall into an antlion's nest doomed to misery.
I will give you 15 minutes. If you don't make a decision during that time, I will revoke my offer to reduce the alimony to zilch, mind you, and take everything from you so that not a single blade of grass is left. Fatal blow or heavy blow. Choice is yours, people. Oh, no. We can't get away from this anymore. With the imminent deadline approaching and no alternative in mind, the two piles of sewage were left with no other choice but to sign the marriage certificate on the spot and accept marriage to each other. The two became hunk band and wife Zoc. With the world's worst wedding ceremony over, they immediately went to the city office to have the paperwork officialized. The total purchase price of the house and car was $500,000, with the car immediately sold, leaving a remainder of $460,000. If the monthly repayment of $2,000 went unpaid, their wages would be cut. Now the two will work their asses off just to keep paying off the mortgage on the house, which is not worthy of their status. I have run their lives into the ground. They've become husband and wife, but they are scumbag 1 and scumbag 2 at this point, cheating on each other without any regard for each other's feelings. Everything is your frickin' fault. What are you going to do now that Mom and Dad have given up on me?
Oh, shut the frick up, bitch! I've been abandoned too, you know!
But they can't get a divorce, which is, according to Mr. Dustin Spider, the antlion's nest, doomed to misery.
Please, Melanie, start over with me. That frickin' bitch, Salia. Oh, she's the worst. She's not at all nice to me, and I think she's cheating on me. If she runs off with someone else after you abandon me, my life will be toast. All I remember are the good things about you. You're the only woman for me, Melanie. I love you, Melanie. This time it's true. I'm not lying one bit. Say something, Melanie.
I thought I wrote in the paperwork that you are not allowed to approach or contact me except for money matters, but it seems you've lost your memory, sir. The sanction is $2,000 per violation.
No. Melanie, listen. We were in love, weren't we?
I'm charging you $2,000.
Melanie. 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 Melanie.
Another $2,000 bites the dust. I've been through a hell of a lot, but the only silver lining, I believe, is that I realized his betrayal before we got married. I'm going to take a break from romance for the time being, and maybe after I improve my eye for men, will I start to find someone again. Trouble Busters!